Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. It's an automatic version with 109,000 miles currently recorded on the car. Finished in grey with a full black leather interior. So going around the car for you, the front of the car is really clean. It certainly doesn't look like the miles at all. Lights and lenses clear, intact. Front bumper is very clean, just one little touch and mark you can see on the corner there. But basically it's been kept really nicely. The bonnet itself hardly exhibits a stone chip. It's amazingly clean. Come down the near side, passenger side of the car, and it's really clean and smooth in the panels. I did see a tiny little indentation, and it is so soft you can hardly see it. It's just there, but it's minuscule. The point of the video is to pick up on them as best I can. Near side front alloy, generally good. Again, this is the one that's going to take all the sort of damage close to obviously the curbs. Just around the outside edge, it's got some light curbing there, which obviously befits the age and mileage of the car. Come down the remaining panels, all really good. Just the odd, again, just tiny little mark with last owner might have sort of touched in a couple of bits here and there, but done rather well. Rear alloy again, really quite good. Just a tiny little marking on the outside edge again, just on the outside rim there. Come around the back of the car. Again, very clean for the age and mileage of the car. Which will be a repeated theme in this video, I'm afraid. Offside, driver's side, again, lovely and smooth in the panel work. Side rear alloy, can't see any marks on that one at all. Amazing difference between the opposite side of the curb makes. And then the remaining panels are really lovely. And offside front alloy, again, wonderfully clean. So externally the car is in really good condition when you take into consideration obviously the age and the mileage of the car. So coming into the boot area, there are enormous boots on these CR-Vs, and it's been kept absolutely amazingly. This is better than most CR-Vs you'll see with half the age. Plastics are all really good, and the carpeted areas are lovely as well. Obviously it is electric power tailgate, and that all works exactly as intended. Let's go into the back of the car now to show you just how much legroom these CR-Vs give you. They are enormous in the back, and unlike most which have been battered about by kids, this one's been kept absolutely beautifully. It's hard to say, it really is hard to believe it's done the miles it's done. Front passenger door card, all door cards are in very good condition. A full set of original CR-V mats fitted to the car, and front passenger seat, as with the rears, given very light use. Driver's door card, again, wonderfully clean, tidy. All the little recesses been kept really nicely. Footwell area again, nice and clean. The driver's seat, for the miles it's done, and obviously the driver's seat's going to be taken all the wear. It's done amazingly well. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section, so dash can be seen illuminated. It looks virtually like new, this dashboard. It's amazingly clean. You can see that sat nav working exactly as intended. Pop the car into reverse. Get that lovely clear gridded parking camera. Again, all working exactly as it should there. But it really is fantastic in here. So the video quite often doesn't really do justice, and this is certainly one of those. Coming into the dashboard, hopefully you can see 109,436 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard whatsoever. Steering wheel pretty much looks as new in hand, it really does, but it's been treated very gently, this car. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack is here with the car, and very importantly so is the locking wheel nut key. Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2.2 EX automatic. This particular car is registered LL62SJX, and mileage at the start of the road test is 109,436 miles. The reason we do the videos, as I say in all of them, is essentially so that anyone that's looking at this car in an advert online actually gets to see the car in operation, and it gives us opportunity to feedback any issues that might be that would show up whilst test driving the car. You know, we are acutely aware of just how frustrating it can be to to see cars which look great in the adverts, only to get there to find out when you drive it it's got an issue, warning light or something obviously wrong whilst you drive the car. So hence that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads close to our premises. And the reason for that, it should be representative of what you should feel after the test drive in the car. Coming to the car, very well looked after, as you'll know from the walk around video. It's been treated very well. Mechanically it's exactly the same. The engine starts absolutely instantly, settles to completely smooth, even idle. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it should be, and the engine's been running for quite some time now. And there are no warning lights at all on the dashboard whilst the engine's running and I'm driving along, relating to the engine or any other part of the car for that matter. The engines themselves are lovely, lovely units. They're very, very well suited to this car. They're smooth, quiet, refined on the move. You only really know it's a diesel at the lower speeds. When you get up to speed, it's a very, very quiet car indeed at a cruise. But they're just a fabulous engine to use day in, day out, as well, as I quite often say. The way the car drives, the way it picks up, because the problem with automatics is that turbo diesels don't always match them terribly well, because as the turbo comes in, the gearboxes can get confused. But Honda got this matched absolutely beautifully. It really suits this gearbox. But the engine itself runs faultlessly. It's absolutely lovely. Gearbox, by the way, it actually originated many years ago in the Honda Legend, their flagship car. The reason being that Honda weren't doing many turbo diesels at the time and wanted an automatic to go into it, but they didn't have anything which could withstand the torque loadings that the automatic actually puts through the gearbox. And the toughest one they had by a country mile was the one in the Legend, so that's what went into this. It's engineering overkill, of course, but it means that they've got a reputation for being incredibly tough, even with the highest mileages. Gear changes in this one, absolutely silky smooth. Feels exactly like the gearbox did when it was new. Notwithstanding reputation, you should still just do the fundamental checks for gearboxes on any used car. And that's obviously just make sure when you select gear, drive or reverse, there are no delays or sort of thunks as it engages into gear. All the gear changes in this one absolutely spot on, by the way, so that's what you'd hope to see and feel. You do have the option, you've got a manual gear change on the steering wheel. It's pretty much never used, but occasionally if you're going to do an overtake, sometimes it's nice just to pull one back there. It's selected me fourth gear, pull it back again, go into third, pull this one, fourth, fifth, so you can just go up and down the gearboxes, up with the right hand, down with the left hand, and instantly goes back into automatic mode once you've finished doing what you're doing. All working perfectly. Steering of the car, again, a real strong point on these CR-Vs because it's perfect for the vehicle. By the way, it tracks bullet straight. There's no vibrations at all coming back to the steering wheel at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. But what's lovely about the steering is, especially like corners like this, you're not having to wind loads of lock on. It's lovely, precise, accurate, and it's nicely weighted for the car. Too quick, and it's going to make the car sort of flop around a bit too much, too slow, and it becomes ponderous. But they've just hit that sweet spot with it. Chassis, again, Honda know this market ever so well because they're the best-selling. The CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world. So they obviously know what customers want, and what they give you is a very compliant ride, very comfortable, but one that has really good body control through the corners. And it's unlike a lot of manufacturers who tend to get it either wrong one way or another, either too hard, so it's great in the corners but just jars your bones, or one that is pillowy soft on the straight ahead, which feels fantastic, but when it comes to the corners, the cars kind of sort of flop around and it can be horrible, especially for rear seat passengers. But this one, as I said, strikes the perfect balance. What I'm also looking for on road tests with the chassis is just when I'm hearing it going over the bumps, we hear it sort of thump into them. There shouldn't be any kind of secondary noises, and there's nothing at all on the car. It's all exactly as it should be. Brakes, by the way, really good brake pedal on the car. I'm not going to do it too hard because I've got a massive articulated lorry behind me. But I broke very hard earlier today to check them, and they're absolutely fine. What I'm looking for is, again, I don't want no sort of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and it should pull the car nice and straight, and it's brilliant in every respect. It's got a lovely, powerful brake pedal on the car. Looking around inside here, it genuinely beggars belief to believe it's done the miles it's done. Not only is it in fantastic condition in here, because it just looks pretty much as new on the dashboard. I'm listening out, I can't hear a single buzz trim, creak, groan, rattle, nothing. It's amazingly well put together, and this is real build quality, not the garbage that the motoring magazines go on about when they're brand new, where all cars feel nice and solid. You know, you'd never believe this car done the miles it's done. It's incredible. It also happens to be a lovely place to sit and operate a car. Dashboard's nicely finished, nice colour schemes. Sat nav works perfectly. Air conditioning pumps out ice cold air. Heated seats works perfectly as well. Simple, easy to use. Likewise, the dashboard in front is, you know, simplicity itself. And steering wheel, which is nice and small in hand, leather bound, so it feels really good. It's obviously a multifunction steering wheel, but it's not a complicated one. It's, you know, once you've used the car for a few days, things become pretty much second nature very, very quickly indeed. But it's got nice features, you know, auto lights, auto wipers, all that kind of stuff. And I said, all working exactly as it's meant to. This is a four-wheel drive vehicle, although the absence of a four-wheel drive button gives clue to just how Honda do these things, because they know that most people drive in conditions like this, where there's no point having four-wheel drive on. So what it does, if you were pulling away at a junction, it was icy or snow or mud, and your front wheels just momentarily started to lose grip, instantly the rear wheel drive kicks in to give you four-wheel drive, and it does it all for you. It's seamless as well. It's absolutely incredible, and I've towed many a caravan across some pretty muddy pitches and never got close to getting stuck. And its simplicity gives it its reliability, but also by not having four-wheel drive on the whole time, you're not using so much fuel, not getting to your tyres as quickly, and obviously not putting so much mechanical stress through the vehicle. As I said at the start of the video, the point of these is to pick up on any issues that you're going to find whilst driving the car, and I can't find anything at all. It drives absolutely as solid as a rock, and I'm not giving it any allowance for its mileage at all, by the way. It's basically, you know, it feels to me like a car that's done, so it's just parking sensors picking up. At least we know they're working. School run time today. This drives as well as any I've driven, regardless of miles. I've sold some with, you know, less than 20,000 miles on the clock, and this feels every bit as tight as any of those I've driven. So it is a remarkable car. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, please do give us a call.